Alright guys, I'm going to show you this one I'm working on. It's my shawl. This is how I clip my phone into there and that's how I crochet. I need to show you some close-ups here to help you when it's your turn. So one thing you will notice when you are working on this shawl pattern, it can be either the Skyline shawl or this one that I'm working on, I call it Moonlight on the City shawl. And because it has such long color changes, it has a lot of counting. And sometimes it can get really confusing. So I thought I would just go over some of my tips that I use. For example, you have these big open spaces and you have to do, 10 stitches or something. But when you're counting, say you're working with, this is my green here. If I'm working with the green and I count, okay, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how many stitches I need to make more. Then I'll just put a stitch marker there. That's how I can count it. That way I don't have to keep counting and wondering how far I've gone. I just keep going until I reach my stitch marker. And in this pattern, I'm doing it the long start, which means there are one row, for example, has 6 in the front, 2 in the back, 110 in the front. Like, that's a lot, right? So you don't want to just count it 100 times. You just count it once. You say, okay, that's how many stitches I need. I'm going to put my stitch marker there. That way I know when I get there, I can switch to doing the back stitch or the front stitch or whatever is the opposite. But the other thing you have to pay attention to is your windows, right? So it's not enough to just know, okay, I need 10 stitches. Now I have to know which window am I going to go through when I get there. Because sometimes it can be a bit wibbly wobbly. You see? You can probably hear my baby in the background. Daddy's doing bath time. So some things that can help is instead of counting always, 110 this direction, you might look and say, well, I know that this line, this is probably a bad example because this is actually where it curves in. You can look at your chart to see where your lines go. But if I know that this line is right here, I know that's going to match up with something on my pattern. I can, these windows are locked, right? There's less movement. So I can count this direction instead. Instead of counting 110 this way, I can maybe count 10 this way. So that's one thing that might help. Or you can look here, this is locked in at the bottom. So that helps us to know. We can look through our windows, right? And we can see there is the cross, right? So each square of the window lays directly on top of one of these crosses. So you can pay attention to that to know where your stitches should line up. And then when I count them, I like to go through both to keep the mesh stuck together. Because it's a lot of counting. Seriously, this pattern has a lot of counting. But I'm really liking the way it's turning out. And I can't wait to wear it. The back is kind of fun too, because it's just a lot of color. So I like using the black. It's understated, but then a lot of color that pops out. And I am going to make a separate video. You can see here how it's when you change colors, because it's not a graduated change that's in the yarn, is an actual, I just literally picked up a different color yarn. You can see I started with this horribly dark purple and then I switched, but now you get these little lines coming out and I didn't really like it. So when I came to doing this one, I switched the way I did it so that when you look through it, you can just see, I hope you can see, it's just purple instead of having these dashy lines for the most part. And on the back, it doesn't really look any different. The back, it still looks like lines meeting there, but if you look really closely, you can see, I'll show you in that other video, how I make an extra loop for it to go in, and that just brings the color change up just a little. And then these stitches that were in the front or the back, whichever way I did it, they do still come down, but because it's connecting on this side, it's gonna be a harsh transition no matter what. So that's why I did it that way. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll have another video on how I do the color changes. And I'm hoping to make not only a video that shows like how to do these stripes, but also ones, I don't know, maybe you've seen other people do it, where they'd have like just this building is in a different color, right? So that's kind of fun too. And yeah, this thing is looking warm and it's looking cool, and I'm really excited to get it done so I can show it to you guys. And that's all I have for you tonight.